Hi everyone and welcome to this video. This is a Math 081 video where I talk about adding and subtracting signed numbers. So there are many ways to understand how to add and subtract signed numbers. In my first video I gave an overview of the different methods and talked about the key concept, which is that the negative sign belongs to the number it is in front of. Okay? So for example, if I have 2 minus 3, right, the negative 3 belongs to the 2. If I have negative 2 minus 3, then the 2 is negative, right? But then the 3 is negative as well. In fact, I could rewrite it as negative 2 plus negative 3, okay? And lastly, if I had like negative 2 plus 3, then this negative sign would belong to the 2, whereas the 3 is positive. Okay, and also I talked about how my overall goal for you is math fluency. I want you to achieve a level of comfort with adding and subtracting signed numbers without the use of technology. So in my first video, again, I gave an overview. The second video, we did the money method, then the number line method. This video, we're going to do the sign chips method. And then also I realized there's a fourth method that I'm going to cover in a following video, which is called SSSDDD, which makes no sense. But again, there is one more method that I will be introducing. So after you watch this video, if you want one more way to think about these things, stay tuned and watch that video as well. All right, let's get started. So the idea here, I'm going to be completely honest with you before I even explain this. This is not practical with large numbers. You're going to be there all day, okay? So this is really just more of a conceptual thing to help build an understanding of what negative and positive signed numbers mean, okay? Because the reason this is so impractical if you have large numbers is that this requires you to draw this actual cute little shape, like a plus sign or a plus sign in a circle, for every positive number, and then to draw a negative chip for every negative number, and then to cross off pairs of chips until only one type of chip remains. So let me go ahead and get started. I think it's kind of hard to understand until you see a demonstration. Okay, so negative 7, that literally means that you have 7 negative ones all added together. So the way I would express that, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so hopefully you can see, again, if I had like the number negative 79 instead of negative 7, this would be really not a good method to use, okay? Then I have plus 2, so that's a plus and a plus, okay? So then the fun part of this is that we get to cross things out. So a pair of negative and positive chips, they cancel each other out, okay? And then we're left with, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negative signs. So our answer would be negative 5. That's our final answer. Okay? Let's do the same thing with the second problem. Okay, so again we have 5. Now let's ask ourselves, is 5 negative or positive? I see a negative sign here, but does the negative belong to the 5 or does it belong to the 3? Well, remember we said that the negative sign always belongs to the number that it's in front of. So this 5, right, what does the 5 have in front of it? It doesn't have anything in front of it, which implies that it is a positive number. Okay, so our 5 is the positive number, the 3 is the negative number. Okay, so that means I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positive little chips there, and what color did I use? Purple. Then I'll have 1, 2, 3 negative chips. Okay, and then we cancel out pairs of positive and negative chips, 1, 2, 3, and then we can see that there are 2 positive chips remaining, so my final answer is positive 2. Now you might notice here, in the first example, I wrote my negative numbers first and then my positive numbers. In the second example, I wrote my positive numbers first and then my negative. It really doesn't matter, right? Because you're just crossing out pairs of positive and negative chips. Okay. Okay, so if you want to write the positives first, the negatives first, it doesn't matter. For me, it's just easier to whatever I'm given first. Like I'm given -7 first here, so that was my first row, and then I have a +2 in the second after the -7, so I use that. Same thing here, the +5 came first, then the -3 came second, so I did that way. Okay, so as promised, there is one more video. I will talk about the SSSDDD method, so if you want one more way of understanding how to add and subtract signed numbers, please stay tuned and watch that. Thanks!